A serious question. Why are you undoing here and Megan Fox and Legal Vices and Legally Live and MG Law all doing the exact same thing? And none of you have even one person on your webcast to offer a different perspective, such as a lawyer who can engage in actual legal analysis. It's all the same. Watching the videos of hearings, making silly jokes to pander to all the Hales fans. Not ever acknowledging anything negative with respect to Hale's Megan Fox's original PJ Media article is so inaccurate about the legal issues. And amazingly, even lawyers like Larry Foreman say the same nonsense, i.e. that the Sixth Amendment or Fourth Amendment apply to the case before Judge Dutton says. All of the whitey coverage started from that. Oh, and why did Megan decide to write that piece? How much of this is orchestrated by Hales for content? In my opinion, all it will take to completely turn the tables is a competent lawyer willing to represent Preston in federal court, where she can bring counterclaims that would be much stronger than the claims Hales brought. Let me know if you want to set your coverage apart by having a serious lawyer discuss the many issues not being discussed. All of the whitey coverage started from that. Oh, and why did Megan decide to write that piece? How much of this is orchestrated by Hales for content? Only Foreman say the same nonsense. Only Foreman say the same nonsense. Only Foreman say the same nonsense.
And just because I watch a video or parts of a video doesn't mean I'm a stalker.
Bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, what the fuck? What the fuck? What?
Dropping bombs on your news. Mic drop, then alarms, now they press news. Mainstream spinning, but I won't play that game. A nuclear flow turning at you for motivational flame. Megan Fox crushing all the talking heads as they spoon feed their paid piggies. Gotta keep them misled with blazing Lego vision. I see all the signs exposed in the agenda. Miss these epic rhymes. Intellectual assault on the mainstream. Out in the current of the mainstream. Medium small will never be silenced. They won't let spin fighting appliance. Pretend intellectual assault on the mainstream. Never ride in the current of the lame stream. Bro, I can burn water, but I'm spitting facts. Top shelf, sorting mass stacks, reporting news, and not like you make it. I'm award winning, and I don't have to fake it. Megan Fox, an authentic voice, giving the masses a hard-hitting choice. That umbrella guy, hammering his song, while Megan Fox rights those wrongs. Now we hit the end of this tune, declaring war, and it isn't even new. Making dinner and still chopping rhymes like granite. In my area code, please, you're not even on my plan. Yeah, you're outclassed and you never knew. By the time I press singulars are through, breaking stories while you're chasing hunches. I'm a news titan, never pulling punches.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to the stream. I'm Megan Fox, medium smart journalist. Here with me is that umbrella man or that umbrella guy. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm too tired. I just woke up from a seriously snoozy snooze. Thank God I set my alarm.
I don't
Thank
know
God I
that.
set my alarm, or I would have slept right through it, you guys. I would have been like drooling into my pillow for the next 8 hours.
Then you would have missed all the fun today, man. All that. Today was apparently a very, very entertaining day. I
It
think
was
a lot
an
more.
entertaining day in the What the Hales arena, but
Yeah, for
my
that.
God, it
That's
was
what I
a
mean.
bad day in America today, folks, because clearly,
Ugh.
I'm sure all of you know that Charlie Kirk was assassinated today in cold blood by a maniac, and I have things to say about that. I am traumatized by the footage. My daughters have been traumatized by the footage. I mean, there's no keeping it off your screen. Oh my God. Charlie Kirk, first of all, it's funny, the topics kind of merged. Charlie Kirk was one of the biggest people to interview Clayton Eckert. Do you remember that?
No, not really.
He
No,
did.
no.
He did. Clayton sat down with Charlie Kirk to talk about the false allegations against him in the Laura Owens case. Recently, Charlie Kirk was a guy who made his entire career about talking to people. That was all he did. He went on college campuses and he talked to people. He debated, and whether you agreed with him or not, all he did was talk to people. He wanted to sit down and talk to the people who disagreed with him. Charlie wasn't out there to talk to people who agreed with him, really. He was there to listen to people who disagreed with him. And he would have these civilized conversations with them. And 9 times out of 10, he would convince these people that they might be looking at it from a perspective that maybe they should reconsider. This is a man who did nothing to anyone other than just have conversations. And I really don't care what his beliefs were. I don't care if I didn't agree with him on anything, really. It doesn't matter. I'm sure I did, though. I mean, there were plenty of things Charlie Kirk said that I agreed with. But for him to be at the University of Utah today, doing what he always does, taking questions, debating people in the audience, just having a nice, calm conversation, and to have a bullet rip through his neck in front of his family. I heard one of his children was at the event. A 31-year-old man with 2 little girls and a wife who just loved them dearly. To watch that happen is absolutely outrageous. And I'm tired of it. And I want to echo something I heard today on the Dad Challenge podcast. Actually, Josh went live to talk about this. He's in Canada, but he said he went live to talk about it because he feels scared. He feels like something has shifted and that bad things are ahead for America and of course for Canada as well, because, if something bad pops off in America, it affects everybody. And he asked the chat very seriously. He said, these attacks seem to be coming from the left. We've had the attempted assassination on Donald Trump twice, two attempted assassinations on Trump. The attack on the Republican congressman when they were playing baseball, what's his name's crazy neighbor, Rand Paul's crazy neighbor, breaking a bunch of his ribs, almost killing him next to him. And then you have the left celebrating this disgusting acts of violence. Absolutely disgusting acts of violence. And Josh asked the chat, can you give me one example of somebody on the right attempting to or assassinating a leftist, a liberal, for speaking? Yeah, Steve Scalise, the baseball game, the recent school shooting with the trans person with the huge political agenda, attacks on Christians, attacks on well, I realize some of you are on the left, and that's okay. I'm just saying, I'm asking, do you see any of these horrific attacks coming from the right? And where are they? Because I don't. I see it coming from the left. And I see that not everybody, obviously. Some of you people are horrified, and that's great. You should be. I've spent the day today reporting X accounts for celebrating and glorifying this violence, and it is disgusting. Terry, the Minnesota congressman, was murdered by a Democrat who worked for Tim Walz. So it's not that one. I mean, I really am serious. I would like to see, like, everyone keeps saying, you know, the left has been on a march for years saying that we should be terrified of the right. What did Joe Biden say? He said that the largest threat to America is white supremacy. I want to see where that comes from. Yes, he was a Democrat. He worked for Tim Walz. He was literally Tim Walz's employee, unless you're going to tell me that Tim Walz was hiring Republicans. I don't think so. I'm concerned and disappointed and pissed off at all of this. And I hate politics too. That's why I left. Yeah, there are crazies, period, but I don't want to hear people say it's coming from both sides. I don't want to hear it. I haven't seen it. I've seen mentally ill people who have done some pretty terrible things, and I've seen a whole lot of political violence coming from the left in America. And I'm very sick about it. Absolutely sick about it.
It's saddening to see people celebrating the I mean, my God. If you want to see how people are, just look up. I use the real word, but you put it in parentheses, but put in F Charlie Kirk. Search that. I'm not saying that, but search that. Search it on Twitter, and you'll find some pretty horrific people. You know, and again, it's just it's awful. It's like that all the time. You know, and unfortunately, there are way too many people that seem very comfortable making threats. We get them all the time, man. And
look at that email. Look at that email that you got the other day about seeing you and your kids in the ground. I want to say too that the thing is that this is the kind of disgusting behavior, and you know, I believe a lot of this is done because people like Charlie Kirk have been demonized. Absolutely demonized. Chat, don't tell me that the presidential shooter was a Republican. Why would he try to kill the president? That doesn't make any sense. I know that's what the media said, but that doesn't make any sense to anybody. Nobody believes that. Nobody. You don't shoot your own president. That doesn't make sense. I haven't the idea. Here's the thing. You start demonizing people the way that it has been done through the media. The media is a big driver of this. The media has painted, and this is one of the reasons why on my show I have merch that says "Make Americans Friends Again," because the idea that we have people who won't sit down to Thanksgiving with family members because of who they vote for, because they have a red hat, is outrageous. It's outrageous, and it needs to stop. And you demonize people enough, and the weirdos will come out of the woodwork and start killing those people because they believe those people are what the media says they are. They use the ist words. They liken them to members of a certain party in Germany. They do these things, and then someone is killed, assassinated. And they want to say we didn't have anything to do with it? Didn't you say, Tug, that there was a what was the show that they just did this to Charlie Kirk, that put him on there and called him a bunch of names?
Oh yeah. Actually, we had just a few weeks ago, we had the huge South Park spotlight, which was interesting, but it shifted him into the social paradigm, you know, I mean, really put a spotlight on him. And then a few weeks later, I'm not blaming South Park for this, by the way. I'm not saying that, but it put a lot more eyes there, and it showcased a lot more people and their thoughts on it. And you saw more and more very extreme, like we talked about it before, othering. That term comes up a lot. You know, we see it with everything we cover. You know, we have people that'll call you they'll call them istophobes. You know, they'll call you a racist, sexist, some type of phobes. And the reason they do that, and the reason they do that is it others you. It makes you less than human. I mean, reality is, whether you like or dislike that guy, there are two little kids that will grow up without a father. In fact, every time they look at their father, they will see very horrific video of their father in this tragic end. You know, as they grow up, that will be the reminder. And I mean, it's sad. We have gotten to a point where it has become way too common for people to silence words forever, and especially with colleges. What happened with colleges used to be the place that you debated anything. It didn't matter how awful or supposedly hateful and vitriolic it was. That was supposed to be the platform where you fought it out. You fought it out with words, and you let people know, you know, if you had something to say, you could get out there and you could own them. And there were a lot of people, like if you look at that event, there were a lot of people, even places that did not like the guy. They were reporting, you know, at first everything was calm. I mean, the dynamic there, people were excited. They were happy to debate. I mean, even when people were irritated, they still were happy to debate. But there are some people that
there's been a trend in this country for a while where debate, there's a side who wants to shut down debate. Antifa is part of it. Antifa set Berkeley on fire when Milo Yiannopoulos went to speak there. And like, you don't have to like Milo. Sometimes I think Milo's ridiculous. Some of the things he says I think have merit, and some I think are just meant to outrage people. But who cares? Who cares if he says things to make you feel outraged? What does that actually do to you? Nothing. Oh, you get mad? Okay, well, you can sit. The answer is more speech. The answer is to start a podcast or go speak on that campus yourself, or protest is fine. But they set the building he was in on fire. People forget these things. I don't forget these things. Our freedom of speech has been under attack in this country for years. No, we're not discussing politics today. We're actually discussing political violence and where it's coming from in this country. And if we can't have an honest conversation about where it's coming from and about who is doing it, then we don't have a chance. And if you want this country to devolve into a civil war, keep closing your eyes to who is doing it. Yeah, mostly peaceful arson. Keep closing your eyes about who is trying to silence speech and who is using violence to make speech stop.
I think it's just frightening, period.
It is frightening.
I don't think, regardless, if you see people out there, if you disagree with any stand, that's fine. The problem is that people have become so tribal, so socially and politically tribal, that they are okay with silencing people forever. And that is a terrifying thing. It doesn't have to, it's not just in politics. Like, that's the thing. People get lost in this and they don't want to, hell, me talking about this and being like, yo, what's your families and stuff? Man, what blows my mind today is mentioning that on Twitter. You know, I lost 250 followers because it's like a dude was murdered. And it's like, hey, this is the kind of shit we talk about all the time. Like, be careful, you know, because you see that there are crazy people out there. And I'm like, I don't want, if it bothers you, again, you know, if it does bother you, it should be a wake up call. And it's not saying that anyone endorses that's there, but it should bother everybody that this kind of stuff is happening, because it's becoming more and more commonplace. And sooner or later, you know, it goes from the, like anything, it goes from the extremes where people are like, oh, well, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with that. It's just like the flag burning thing that we talked about. It's it becomes easier and easier to silence people. And ultimately, we have people that'll do it.
How safe do you feel? And I know I've talked about this a number of times. We've got people out there right now who tell horrific, malicious lies about us every day. And if people believed those lies, is it enough to radicalize some nut job to know where I'm going to be at a certain time and take me out? It is outrageous. It is outrageous. And what about Jeremy Hales and his safety? We've talked about this a lot of times. There is an entire ecosystem out there who is every day telling outrageous lies about Jeremy Hales. And I believe they're putting his life in danger. I've said that from day one. They're putting all of us in danger by this ridiculous demonization, and it's gross. It should stop. And if you know what, here's the thing. If something horrific did happen to Jeremy Hales, I could see these people doing exactly what I see the idiots on Twitter and Reddit doing today, celebrating as if they had done something wrong, as if something good had happened.
That would happen for 100%. It very well would. Over what, really? Over, again, over bullshit. You know, and not just that, the rhetoric some of these people throw around, they motivate some crazy ass people to do some crazy ass things. You look at the people like this case that we're covering right now. Look at some of the people that are involved. Mofo tells me I need to sleep with a Glock under my pillow. That is a threat. That is a straight up 100% threat. What other thing do I do in life where I can be just flat out threatened and no one give a shit? I'm just supposed to eat it because, hey, you know, you get threats every single day. And you see, people are very comfortable with not just dishing them out, but in some, in more and more commonplace. It's becoming way too commonplace. It should not be happening ever, but it keeps happening. Whether, again, people are willing to silence opposition forever, and it's crazy. They do it again when people start calling you Sodom and Gomorrah of YouTube. They call you the Antichrist. Yeah, what the fuck do you think that leads to? It doesn't lead to pats on the back. What it does is it leads to people leaving children fatherless, and that is a frightening world that these people want to build.
It is a frightening world. And Lloyd Miller, I'm going to tell you, this doesn't make any sense. Lloyd says, Megan, I'm going to tell you, you're a hypocrite. I am being silenced on Facebook because I oppose your president. I'm not saying that violence is okay. It's not. Lloyd, I'm opposed to censorship, all kinds of political censorship. I don't run Facebook, so I'm not silencing you. I don't know what you're talking about here. I'm not a silencer. I'm not. If you're on my page,
political dissidents. I believe, like, if you want to,
I do too.
You want to go out, yeah.
You want to talk? You want to say something about the president that I happen to not hate? And I'm putting it that way because I pretty much hate all politicians. I have less hatred for some of them. You know, like this president, I have slightly less hatred for him than others. But I'm not. You can say whatever you want. I'm not the one censoring you. I don't know why you think I'm a hypocrite. I don't agree with censorship, with political censorship of any kind. Now, I do think people have a right on their own social media pages to police them how they want. I don't think the government does, though. The government doesn't have a right to do that to you at all. So I would be in agreement with you that if the government is involved in silencing you, they shouldn't be. McDeb, thanks for the 50, says this actually relates to the topic we're discussing because it's about free speech and the right to have it and the difference between free speech and hate speech and violence. Now, I don't think there is such a thing as hate speech. That doesn't exist. There is speech that is unpleasant and there is speech that makes you angry. But speech and violence are not the same thing. I do think that weaponized lies about people, targeted lies about people are dangerous. If you call a group of people enough times a member of the Yahtzee party and you tell people that they're white supremacists and they aren't, if you do that enough times, you will make someone angry enough to get out to do what happened today. As far as I know, Charlie Kirk is not an ist. And he has plenty of videos out there for you guys to go and listen to and find out if you can discover if you think he's an ist or not. And even if he were, is that a reason to put a bullet in somebody's head? Whoever has told anybody in this country that it's okay to punch a Yahtzee or kill a Yahtzee, they're not right in the head. And I'm not calling him a Yahtzee because he's definitely not. But even if he were, that's not justifiable. This is a nation of laws. And this is a nation that allowed the Yahtzees to march in Skokie through a Jewish neighborhood because it's what the Constitution demands. And what happened? The protesters outnumbered the Yahtzees. Or maybe it was the Triple Ks. I don't remember which one. I think it was the Triple Ks. The protesters outnumbered them. That's the way we do it here. You don't open up mass fire on people like that. And so in doing this, normalizing political violence, normalizing violence at all against people for speaking their mind, for being articulate, and some people don't like it. No, Lloyd, I will not change the subject. If you don't like the subject, leave. This is my livelihood. This is what we do. And it makes me scared to go to events. I can't even go to an event to meet people who might want to meet me because I want to come home to my family at night because I speak out. I tell people what I think. Don't tell me what to do. I don't like any of this.
I hate the fact that and it's happening in the moment. Unfortunately, you see something like that. Like it really resonates with me when I see somebody. Again, I'm a father of two, and when I see something horrific happen to someone over words, there are a lot of people that do not like me, and that is okay. You do not have to like me, but it's terrifying that some people are so socially or politically tribal, and again, they're okay with silencing a person forever, and they will just celebrate it, and
it's gross over words, right? Over words.
I'm just afraid when we talk about like Hales, okay, talking about this subject, how it blends in. You look at the type of people that have congregated around this stuff.
Felons.
There are dangerous people, some very dangerous people in instances. And again, some of them are very comfortable threatening people. And the rhetoric that comes from some of these people, again, too. I don't, you look at it, even in court. You remember in court, they tried to tar Hales as a racist because he was wearing Indians memorabilia. He's wearing a jacket.
Right.
And that right there, I mean, again, that's part of this othering we talked about. We see it. We've seen many moves for this othering. And where does that go? Where does that end? It doesn't end in just the cancellation of businesses. It makes people fair targets in the minds of some other folks, and that ends with dangerous outcomes. And it's not just how does everybody around him too? No one should have to live like that. I mean, like I said, you see these people, you listen to them, and it becomes so commonplace when we're covering these things that people don't even bat an eye at it anymore. The threats, the insanity, the circus is one thing. I love the circus, but sometimes when you look at the circus, like inside of it, like some of these clowns, they're filled with anger and hate, and they will hurt a person. So it is relevant, very much so. The idea of what is happening and that divide and where people are allowing it to go. It is very much a relevant topic, and it is a frightening topic sometimes. Again, every single day I've gotten threats.
What I don't want to see, by the way, I don't want to see the chat fighting with each other right now. I don't want to see you guys fighting amongst yourselves. That's not what this is about. It's actually about the opposite. And those of you who said you haven't seen anybody celebrating Charlie Kirk, just go on X and type in "fuck Charlie Kirk."
They are. They really are. You know, they very
it's
much
all
are.
over my Twitter feed because I'm
Yeah.
reporting them all to the FBI and also to X, and I've done that all day long. So please
They're
don't say
not,
that no one's doing that because it's
they're-
happening all over the place.
And what's frightening is they're not like little troll accounts. I mean, you're talking about some legitimately large accounts. You have people that are planted. Heck, today you had a person that released a DC comic today. You know, I reposted the thing about that. Like they are celebrating. They're like, buy my product, by the way. It's like, are you kidding me, man? Again, nobody should have that. And no, I'm not talking about politics. Like, man, I'm disgusted by the whole lot of them. I think, it's a flush and redo the whole system, but it doesn't matter. I have friends that are all over the political spectrum. We can argue fiercely if we want to, and that is okay. I'm totally
And
good
still
with
be
that.
friends. Me too. Dave Neal and I don't agree on a damn thing when it comes to politics, but I would go to bat for him any day. Lloyd, stop being a baby. Nobody sicked anybody on you. You're talking to me. I'm responding to you. I didn't tell anybody in the chat to go after you, did I? In chat, you know better than that. He says, I've been watching the Hale storyline and have found you informative. Again, you have sicked the chat on me. In what way? Simply because I responded to your comment? Stop being a baby. That's ridiculous. I've done no such thing, and I do not appreciate being accused of such a thing, which I have not done and would not do. But I do want the chat to do something for me. In remembrance of Charlie Kirk, a person who at his very core cared about disagreements in America to such an extent that he spent his life traveling around the country to disagree. That's what he did with his life. He traveled around disagreeing with people as a matter of practice because he believed in it. And I think that those of you, if any of you care to make it worth something, what Charlie did, then you right now reach out to somebody, whether it's in the chat or somebody in your real life who you disagree with, and make sure you tell them you love them. And if you haven't sat down and had a drink with somebody because they voted for a guy that you didn't like, and if you cut that person out of your life, pick up the phone and call them today and apologize for that shit. Because it's bad. What you're doing is pushing us further and further towards civil war if you keep doing that, if you keep hating your brother, if you keep hating your neighbor. You have to stop that. We have to stop that now. And everybody who has an opinion is allowed to have an opinion, but you don't turn on each other and act like you're enemies. And for those of you in the chat saying, I will never apologize, you're the problem. You're the problem. If you will not put down your pride and say to your neighbor or your family member who you may have offended over politics, something that is so stupid to be upset about, something that you cannot control. But what you can control is your own behavior and your own relationships, and the people around you, you can treat them well. And if you're saying, I will never apologize, you're the problem. We can love each other. We can be friends again. It doesn't matter who you voted for. We need to go back to the days where voting, nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about who they voted for. I don't want to know who you voted for. I don't care. I just want to know that when we go to the PTA meeting together or we go to our kids' football game together, that we can hang out and be cool. And if something were to happen, you've got my back and I've got yours. It shouldn't matter. All of this other stuff should not matter. And getting into a friendly debate, debates should always be civil. Debates should be calm. And we should be able to shake hands afterwards and go get a beer. So if you're doing any of these things, if you put anybody out of your life because of a difference of opinion in politics, pick up the phone and call them and tell them that you love them. Period. That's what I want you to do today. Because this kind of violence, this is what it leads to. This is what that intolerance leads to. It leads to bloody, disgusting civil war and death. And if that's what you want, well, keep it up. Keep it up. I think
It's a crazy day. It is
a crazy day.
It is, because there is, okay, court-wise, for the thing that we're following, the trial that we're following, it has been a epic day. On the other side of this, you have insanity on it. And it, this stuff happens a lot. You pick up the microphone every day. This stuff just all boils into a little pot in your brain. You live on the microphone, and it's not just, again, they're real lives, very real lives. I loathe politics. I loathe it. I loathe political parties, all of that stuff. And I hate the fact that people walk on eggshells these days. They walk on eggshells trying not to offend anybody. And it's so ridiculous. Have your own opinion, man. I don't really care. Yeah, you hate party X or party Y. Man, I hate them too. Hey, let's have fun with that.
Let's hate them together. Let's hate them together and
we all do.
Not take it out on each other.
We really do. Like, again, when you look at satisfaction, but like the thing, like you get past the, where do you vote? Where do you do this? Where do you do that? And you look at satisfaction polling, you'll see people talking about the House or the Senate. Do they feel like they actually have somebody that represents them? Single digits. We were talking about less than 10% of people are like, yeah, I very well
true.
do.
Doesn't Congress have like a 14% approval rating?
Yeah,
it's
terrible.
Pretty bad.
When you put the House and the Senate together over the last
those are
few
the
years,
most hateable people on earth. It's true.
Yeah, it's been less than
focus on hating them instead of each other. And when I say hating them, I mean hating them verbally. Don't hurt them. Okay, like this is America, for God's sake. The Undertaker wants to remind us that today is anti-rage quitting day. That's right. None of you are allowed to unsubscribe today. So this is the perfect day to say all the crazy shit I want to say, because you're not allowed to unsubscribe. It's anti-rage quitting day. It's a national day in this country. You're not allowed to rage quit. So just letting you know. Not today. Not today, Satan. Sorry, Tug.
No, it's good. You know what? You can have whatever opinion. I'm not, the idea. If we disagree politically on something, who cares? Like I said, I hate freaking political parties on my. So I never have liked. I don't like the division on it, and I can deal with anything. I listen to people. At the end of the day, I believe in people. I believe in, as an adult, you can do whatever makes you happy as long as it's legal. And mofos should be able to silence you about that. If they don't like what you do and what you live, you can give them the old free speech finger. I love it. I do. And we cover, again, we cover cases that people will hate you for. They do. They absolutely hate you for it. And I've always found that to be fascinating. I find it weird that, because I cover a celebrity case, here people hate you for it. Or if you're covering something like this and you pull out all the information's there, like in the Hales case, you pull out everything, you showcase it all. And you're like, look, here's my informed opinion. My informed opinion are these people are horrible human beings over there on the other side of this. And people won't, they don't just hate you for it. They, oh my God. That's gross. Remind me to show you something. Oh, I got a doozy of a letter today. Holy shit.
Oh, another one? Another
no,
one.
I got one about, I don't even know if I could read that. I got one about 4 hours ago. I don't even know if I could read that one aloud. Shit. That's a good one. Anyway, let's laugh at some idiots.
All right, let's do that. Are we going to laugh at the idiots who sent you something, or should
No, let's laugh at some. No, this is for.
All right. Well, this is going to be. This is going to be a big bombshell that you have not seen yet. So the court footage has been obtained already from today's hearing. Now, those of you who don't know, the thumbnail lawsuit was scheduled to be in a status hearing today. We know that Lynette Preston sent the judge a letter saying, I can't be there. My daughter's sick. I can't leave her in the car. And
Yeah.
my lawyer died. And it was crazy. And the judge was like, just completely ignored it. Oh, I forgot the Super Tits post. Oh, how did I do that? Obviously, I have to put that in the chat. So sorry for that. I'll do that now. Because yes, we need those. We definitely need Super Tits today. That will make us all feel better. Because Super Tits always do make us feel better, don't they? I don't know about you, but for me, I think yes. I'm trying to type this and talk at the same time. It's not working out. It's not working out. I can't type a URL and talk at the same time. supertip.gg/Megan Fox. All right. There we go. And I will pin that to the top of the chat as soon as this stupid thing moves out of my way. There we go. It is now pinned. There you go, guys. Okay. Anyway, the judge in the case, there a lot of things happened. Jeremy made a video. I have not watched it yet, but I did speak to him. But he did give us a little teaser to show you guys of some footage in court. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm feeling it.
And by the way, did he say tomorrow he would be dropping the footage on members only?
Yes, yeah. Right now, you got to think too. Like, you're talking about a guy that just cost-wise, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars into cases to get to where we are. And they keep pumping the brakes on it. Not to mention the damage to businesses, hundreds of thousands of more dollars. I mean, you're talking about getting into millions, by numbers most people can't even fathom. They can't imagine. So, yeah, he's gonna drop that on members only for a hot minute, and I actually think that's good. Maybe it'll help recover some of that. Later
he should
on.
do it. So tomorrow he'll be dropping the full court footage for members only on What the Hales. If you're not a member of What the Hales, make sure you get over there and become one, like ASAP, because this is the kind of thing you're going to get tomorrow. And I don't know how long it's going to be till we have access to the whole thing. So you probably need to get over there and become a member if you want to see it all. Here we go.
I'm sure
We have the
it'll come up.
footage from Levy County Courthouse.
There's going to be a check written to somebody.
If you want to see it in its entirety, you can click the link for our top tier membership. I'll make sure it's in the description for you. It's the only place we're going to release it.
In over your head here, to be candid with you.
I'm assured.
One more time.
Writing a check. Oh my God.
One more time.
My lawyer died.
We have the footage from Levy County Courthouse.
There's going to be
Oh no.
a check written to somebody.
If you want to see it in its entirety, you can click the link for our top tier membership. I'll make sure it's in the description for you. It's the only place we're going to release it.
In over your head here, to be candid with you.
I'm assured.
That was my favorite part when she goes, "Oh, I'm assured." What? Lynette, get a lawyer, a real one, not a bankruptcy lawyer. Okay, so the hearing that happened today was in the thumbnail case. That is Judge Grabe. The new judge is Judge Grabe. The judge is, oh my God. Finally, let me just say, I have seen the footage. I can just say, this judge is finally treating her the way she should be treated in a court of law.
Oh yeah.
When she pipes up and she says, "But Your Honor, my lawyer died and I can't do this and I don't know if anything got filed. I don't know. I can't get my files and I don't know and I don't know anything. No one's keeping me abreast of things." And the judge said, basically, "Ma'am, the only thing I can tell you is you need to get a lawyer because I can't give you any legal advice. And if you're going to be pro se, I am going to treat you like a pro se, like any lawyer, because that's what the law requires me to do. And then he moved the fuck on. And we're moving on, I'm not going to listen to your whining because you're here pro se. And if you choose to do that, that's your right. But you're going to be held to the same standard as any attorney. Wow. I was thrilled.
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful to hear from a judge. No nonsense, no BS. I mean, this judge, there's some weird stuff in there too. Like the fact that that lawyer, like some of this stuff all gets brought up in the Hales video. That lawyer, I mean, she brings her bankruptcy lawyer with her, and for a hot minute, you're like, he's going to be there, maybe he is there for all of these different things, right? Maybe that's $6,000. Maybe it was meant for. No, it's not.
Nope. And hilariously, his entire reason for being there is to assure the judge that the bankruptcy it's dismissed. Nope, nothing there. It's dismissed.
It doesn't matter.
What? Wow. I mean, it is just unbelievable. And I feel like, okay, so another thing too, is that that bankruptcy attorney of hers, first of all, he's way younger than I thought he was going to be. I thought he was older than that. But also he was like, I think the judge asked him at one point, are you representing her? And he said, oh, no, just in the bankruptcy, just the bankruptcy. Those people lied to you. And we are going to go over to Rumble tonight. We are going to have a Rumble exclusive where we show you how badly they lied to you over in the ecosystem about what the $6,000 was going to pay for. Are you all ready for that? Because it's really something. So get ready, because we are going to go over to Rumble at some point after we, do what we're doing here. We're going to go to Rumble. We're going to play for you the clips of Bruce Matzkin himself. Himself going over the lying to you about what they're going to do with the money. And now we're seeing how far the money went. Not very far. So my thumbnail today said the walls are closing in court, and it really is happening. So something else that happened in court today was that Judge Grabe told Randy Shockett that all he needs from him is the motion for the what do they call that? Not summary judgment. Default. For motion for default judgment. And he said, I'm inclined to give it to you. I may be paraphrasing, but he was like, yeah, that's all I need, because I would be inclined, if there's no bankruptcy to hold this up, then I'd be inclined to give it to you because you're past your filing date. So basically what happened was that Lynette was supposed to file a response to the Granger's case. The Trespass 5, after she dropped it, the Grangers opened a lawsuit against her. And nothing has been done. She's done nothing in the case. She thought that by
holy shit. Hey,
what? What? Why is my you're texting me and my wrist is,
read that.
My
I do
wrist
not
is
read that.
is blowing
I do not want
up.
to read that. I do not want to read
okay,
that
hold
line.
on. That's why
Read
I can't
that.
keep my
I thought the
thought.
other one was
Every
a little
2 seconds.
spicy. Just read that. It's
Every 2 seconds.
holy shit.
Oh my
Well, it's because
God.
I don't want to read that on here.
No, see, I think we should read it.
No, not yet. I want to.
No, this pisses me off.
Yeah, not yet. That's a crazy one. Ooh, maybe. I want to put it with some other ones. See, I mean, it's definitely from this group of,
So Tug just got another death threat.
That one's crazy. That one came in at 3:32. That's the marker on it. So that one's
So
pretty
this
spicy.
actually happened before we even started talking about Charlie Kirk. And I'll just say, It references what happened to Charlie Kirk today.
Yeah, it's very explicit. People will send things through anonymous filters, and one of the things I see people talk about, the way that they camouflage what they say. It's because even with anonymous filtering, I've written the companies there, and they're like, well, we pull out blatant threats, so they try to get around that, but they're still pretty blatant. They may not say I'm going to pew pew you, but they are still pretty blatant, and this one's very blatant. Wow.
This one is an absolute threat.
That's a damn shit show. That's what that is. I might work that up tomorrow. I don't know. I'll think about it. I just thought I'd show you that one. Sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt the flow. I saw that. I was like, holy shit, that is crazy. We get some, for real though, we get some crazy threats sometimes.
I think you should report that to the authorities, Tug.
They won't do anything. They never do.
I know they
anything.
won't do anything, but you have to report it anyway.
Dude, I had a person come. I had a Section 8 military sniper come to my hometown and threaten to murder me and my children. And you know what the authority said? He didn't do anything, did he? So
they're waiting until you're bleeding out on the floor.
That's what I'm for real. That's not even a joke. When I play the clip of the I talked to your mayor, that dude came where I lived. That dude came from another state. He is a Section 8 military sniper, and he has a history of violence, like heavy. The first thing he did, he mailed a package to our, he thought was our home. He mailed it to the wrong place, and he bragged about it online, and he was so crazy. I thought, God, he mailed something that's gonna, it's gonna be bad. So I reported that to the postmaster general, which you're supposed to, right? If you feel that there's something that's dangerous. And their answer was, what do you expect us to do about it? I was like, maybe protect your staff, because this guy could be dangerous. And he mailed something and it was not dangerous, but he got crazier and crazier. And he ended up coming to our town. He actually came out here. And I found that out. The only reason I found it out is because I went to the police department about something I heard online. And the police, I forget their wording because it's been a while now, but the police told me, that when we talked to this person today, and I was like, do you talk to him? You mean on the phone? They were like, no, we talked to them here. And I was like, you talked to, and I described the way the person looked because, they look a specific way and everything. And they were like, yeah, they were here. And they posted pictures of being around where we live and everything. I mean, it's crazy shit. So they just don't care. They absolutely don't care. In this climate, you can see how things get to the point they do. I mean, look at Hales. Hales, we think that's an extreme case. You think Levy County doesn't do anything? Levy County doesn't do anything for people, sure. But most counties don't do anything. And I don't care if they're like whatever political spectrum they fall under. People love to bring up, it doesn't matter. They don't do anything. None of them do. They always tell you, they always have an excuse of something because they have better, bigger headlines to draw down on, like somebody stalking you and coming to your hometown and threatening you. I mean, again, look at Hales. Look at how insane this stuff has been. You have felons.
They're threatening to dump him in a swamp.
Yeah, threatening to threatening to AC his head, and I mean,
and look, we're getting to a point in this country where more and more people think it's acceptable to react in violence against things that you don't like to hear, and that's ridiculous. And it has to stop. It has to stop. It's going to end in bloodshed if the majority of us don't stand up and say, this has to stop. And that means we stop demonizing one another. We stop going after our neighbor for who they voted for. We stop calling our neighbor Yahtzees and ists and phobes because it makes crazy people do crazy things. It's
Anyway,
just
I know
ridiculous.
I just derailed for a minute there, but I saw a letter in I was like, holy shit, that is crazy.
I'm trying to find. Yeah, that was crazy, but it's absolutely
I derailed
ridiculous.
for a minute there, though. I
I
realize
need.
we derail, but today is a derailing test.
Yeah,
It's like
today it's going to be a little difficult to stay on topic today because, listen, I'm traumatized by it. My daughter was traumatized by it. I have one of my kids really likes the political stuff on YouTube and follows it, even though I've encouraged her not to, because I keep telling her, no, all these people are terrible. You don't want anything to do with any of these people. Trust me. And I've only spent my entire life in the scene. I know what I'm talking about. And but to each their own, and you can't, she likes what she likes, right? And I know she knew who he was very well. And man, she came in from school today and she looked like she'd seen a ghost. And she hasn't come out of her room since. And these are the kinds of things that traumatizes a nation. This is a very scary thing. A very scary thing. I mean, wars have begun over assassinations, and I don't like the way this is headed at all. This is why I'm telling you, reach out to people you've cut off if it's over something like politics, because you got to decide, or decide right now that you're fine with, brother against brother and neighbor against neighbor, because that's where it's going. There's no other way for this to go if we don't put the brakes on it. It's going to snap. At some point, it's going to set off a fire that you can't put out. And then a lot of people are going to die. And I've got kids to raise. I've got children. We've all got kids. We've all got grandkids and people we love that we do not want to see in a war.
Well, we are so close to the same. It's so bizarre. People look at this difference like it's an insurmountable gap, and most of us struggle daily. We struggle with issues. We struggle with something, money, mental, physical, something. We struggle to get by, all of us, and we've been convinced somehow that we are leaps and bounds away from each other, and that divide has allowed something horrible to creep in. And
I agree.
It always unfortunately, I've seen it with anything I've covered. People can unite, and they do for a while, and they overcome that. But eventually, they begin to tear each other apart from the inside, and especially winning, especially brings that out. If people feel like they're on the losing side of an argument, they are scrappy. They get together, they unite, teeth out. But if they're winning, people become complacent and they start to fight internally. And they fight with each other, and you see it every social movement, everything for any change. Look at anything. People call nowadays they're hashtag movements or whatever, but you look at any social movement or anything, it always happens, and it's sad. It's unfortunate. People are they're so united, pushing forward. And again, look at the information that people have managed to get out on, like this case right here. How insane. You have this group of people that I have my own beliefs on why they came together, but all of these people came together and they tried to wreck an individual or a group of individuals' lives, the Hales and everyone around, and they tried to ruin their lives. Fighting back, they ostracized this guy. They cut him off from everybody with a microphone that they could, and they did a good job of it. They actually did. They were ineffective in a courtroom, but they were very effective in threatening people and getting them to back away. They did. I've known a bunch of them, and I don't have no animosity toward them when I say this. I get why they back away, because these people are crazy.
Crazy. Bay Twin, I wanted to pull this up and address it. It says, y'all won't fight for Charlie. You will definitely write think pieces, though. Let me explain why that is. Because I'm a member of the writing class. I'm a member of the political class that writes. I used to be anyway. I've left a lot of that behind. But I'll tell you why. Because we still believe over here that Americans can be reasoned with. I believe, the way that Charlie Kirk believed, that reason, measured reason, and debate was the way forward. I have never believed that violence would solve anything. But there will come a time when the only response to this kind of violence is going to be violence. And that is a time you don't want to see. You do not want to be here when that flip gets switched. You don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Nobody who's been writing think pieces trying to talk you people out of this thinks this is a good idea. And that's why you're right. We won't go into the street. And while we'll write more think pieces because we believe that those of you out there can still be reasoned with. But there will be a time when we will not believe that anymore. We're getting there. That's what I don't understand. And that's what I've been, and you can go back and you can read probably all the way back to from, I guess, 2020. I've been singing this song since then to say, this is not the way forward, folks. We've got to rein it in. We've got to pull it back. And we've got to start talking to one another again, because the talking part is going to end. And when that stops, you're not going to like what comes next.
I don't understand that comment. I won't fight for it. What does that mean? What do you expect? What do you want? What do you want with that? How far do you want? You want people to go into the streets and do the same thing? You want them to return awful for awful? I mean, what exactly does that mean? We have a law enforcement mechanism that is failing utterly in our, and we have a judicial system that is failing utterly. And you call that thing out and you change it. You have to, because ultimately it's not going to be an individual. It's going to be bad. And hopefully, like Megan said, there will be people with more rational mindsets that talk people away from that cliff. You know, you have instigators. You have plenty of them. We have talking head mouthpieces that ruin everything and that drive this divide further. But hopefully we will have people that are more rational in their mindsets that, they can maybe stop this. Because you know what? Like if it goes towards people, I don't know if it's not enough conflict in life. Maybe we haven't had a war in a long time. Maybe we live too fat. But people have this weird idea that hurting their neighbors, it's going to be a great thing. Oh, yeah, that's going to be great. It's not. It's not going to be a good thing. You look at history. History, unfortunately, that whole tale about people who just don't remember history are doomed to repeat it. It seems like we are on that crash course, and we don't want to be there. We don't. Anyway, I'm not going to tolerate trolls tonight in the chat also. So if anyone attacking my co-host saying really shitty things, mods, pull out the ban hammer. I'm not having it tonight. So yeah, I don't want to see any more of that. All right, we've got the motion for judicial default. So something that I said happened in court today was that the judge, what do you mean? The judge told Randy that if he had a motion for default in front of him, he probably would have granted it. So he asked him to get it in immediately. Let's read this. It's not very long. Everybody sit up and pay attention. Understand me? Because the hammers are out. No, I feel like I'm yelling at the chat now. Motion for judicial default. Therese Granger and Brett Granger, otherwise known as Tree Strangers, by and through undersigned counsel pursuant to the law, hereby respectfully move this court to enter a default against defendant Michelle Preston, and in support thereof states as follows. On June 28th, 2025, defendant was served with a summons and complaint in this action. On July 5, 2025, defendant filed a notice of automatic stay due to bankruptcy proceedings, which temporarily stayed this case pursuant to federal bankruptcy law. On August 18th, 2025, the federal bankruptcy case was dismissed, thus terminating the automatic stay.
The chat says, "Do not throw the chalkboard duster at us, ma'am." I'm gonna. All right. Pursuant to Florida law, the time for defendant to respond to the complaint resumed, running upon the termination of the automatic stay. Under Florida law, a defendant is required to serve a responsive pleading within 20 days after service of process. The time period provided for filing a responsive pleading is not affected by the expiration of a court term. Following the dismissal of the bankruptcy case on August 18th, defendant had an additional period to file a responsive pleading pursuant to federal bankruptcy law. To date, the defendant has not filed any responsive pleading or otherwise defended this action, other than the notice of automatic stay. Defendant has failed to plead or otherwise defend as provided by the Florida Rules of Civil Procedure. And the time for doing so has expired.
Here's a funny thing. Doesn't it amuse you that even their delay tactic, they screwed that up. They pay a guy 3 times what they should have paid him for a bankruptcy filing. That was in order to delay all the cases we just saw. They end up getting certain filings in. They get in their stays, but that's it. And then what do? They automatically crash the bankruptcy so badly that everything moves forward again.
Unbelievable.
That's amazing to me.
And in court, the bankruptcy attorney took responsibility for not turning stuff in. He was like, due to my error and not turning in proper paperwork, it was dismissed. It's like, but you got $6,000 to not screw this up.
Yeah.
$6,000, and you still just didn't turn in shit you were supposed to turn in.
It's the most basic thing his job. Like, it was the most basic process with his job. File paperwork. And he couldn't get that done. I thought it was funny that they dragged him to the hearing, though. They were like, "Oh man, we need to get him in here." It didn't help at all. Oh God, Preston too. Preston was also dressed like she's again complaining about how she had $125 that she made, but she definitely outfitted out, made sure she got new hair and all of that stuff. It's quite interesting.
Oh my. Then this says, pursuant to Florida Rules Civil Procedure, when a party against whom affirmative relief is sought has failed to plead or otherwise defend as provided by the rules, the court may enter a default against such party. And then this is the certifications. And the judge already said he is thinking about saying yes to this. Now, he did tell Lynette, because she tried to get him to give her, advice, which he wouldn't do. He kept saying, you need to get an attorney. He told her that he believes she's in over her head.
Yeah.
And and that's where she said, I'm assured, which I thought was really funny. That was actually quite funny. She really is naturally funny. And she doesn't know it. But
God, her whole thing, with her, my attorney. Yeah, it reminded me of the mom thing. It reminded me. I kept waiting for the did not, somehow for the punchline there. It was pretty funny. It's just it's her tone, the way she comes across, even things that for most people you'd be like, that's not funny at all. Like, she is unintentionally hilarious.
Unintentionally hilarious, which is what makes it so great, is that she doesn't even know how funny she is. And that's what makes it so good. I don't know if she could do it if she tried, So there is a reaction on the 2L channel. I can't wait to read this. Let's pull this up. This is going to be great. I haven't seen this yet, so we are all going to be watching this together for the first time. We're gonna be looking at this, at their reaction. Then we're gonna go to Rumble, okay? Because we are an hour in, so we're gonna head over to Rumble after this. All right, check this out. They put this up on their community post. Let me see if I can make this and big in it. All right, it says here, so Levy County Court Status Conference today. As usual, the dramatic spin on a conference that took about 15 minutes boils down to this. The bankruptcy case is dismissed and refiled, and a hearing is set for October 7th. Therefore, all cases can move forward for now.
Yeah,
I thought they said that wouldn't happen.
I thought they wait. So they're back to celebrating the bankruptcy case again. I thought they were afraid to bring that up anymore. Because they helped con people out of $6,000 for a stay, not for a lawyer. She should have had a lawyer in that courtroom, lawyer in the courtroom. But no, and it's funny too. She wants to play the Michelle Preston game. Just last night, she was attacking the hell out of her.
She needs, by the way, she needs to sue the hell out of Bruce, because look at the mess he made.
Oh, God.
Both of these cases, Trespass 5 and Thumbnail, which she is going to be liable for. She's going to get defaulted on the Granger case unless she can somehow come up with an attorney she might be able to, at the very last second, come up with an attorney who will represent her if she can pay somebody, if the money isn't all gone.
Anybody who gives this person any more money, you are an absolute idiot. I mean, again, these people went anti-Preston. If they start trying to raise money for her again and people give money, oh my God, that would be crazy and stupid. I mean, they called her a liar.
Do it.
Last night they sounded like Jeremy Hales. They did. They sounded exactly like Jeremy Hales in talking about Lynette Preston. They were talking a lot. It's funny too. They turned off the closed captioning on their videos because they think it keeps us from getting transcripts. And I put up we get rough transcripts and we will get more polished transcripts. And I put up a piece of a rough transcript from last night, mocking the idea. All they did was turn closed captions off and hurt any of their audience that has the need for it. And in that, I took a screen. If you're on Facebook, I took a screenshot, and you can see them. They're dogging on Preston. They are absolutely dogging on her last night, and they're like, "You're going to David. You think he's going to save you?" Oh, it's so
ridiculous.
Good. I love it. Anyway,
all right. So then this says the bankruptcy case gets reopened on October 7th. No, it doesn't. They get a hearing to decide whether it's going to reopen. All cases should remain stayed. No, they're not stayed right now. So there would be a new stay placed on them if they reopen it. So with that, the judge today went forward and went over the status of the Thumbnail case and the Trespass 5 case. The case with the Grangers defaulted because Michelle did not respond to it due to the stay and her lawyer passing away. Based on there being no stay on the case and no response in due time, the case is defaulted in the Grangers' favor. Michelle has time to respond to the default, and I'm sure she will. She should, in my opinion, but hey, I'm not a lawyer. Really? But don't people mistake you for one all the time? The flaw office of Fleesa. I'm not a lawyer. What do I know? I'm just reporting this. LOL. Anyway, once she does, the judge will decide if it will be a default. Randall did not file proper motions that he wanted to take place today. He tried to bring stuff into play, and the judge said no. Well, I think this is a stretch. I mean, I bet he's kicking himself for not having the motion for default.
Well, even with that, though, the judge was clear. He would need to know specific amounts and everything, and he needed an itemized breakdown of whatever.
Well, he does. Yeah, he needs an itemized breakdown. But in the Granger's case, he would have okayed the motion to default. So I'm sure
this was supposed to be a status hearing.
That's right.
This was all supposed to be. It's aligned as a status hearing. So what it does tell them right now is Lynette Preston is looking down over $50,000. That unless there is something in these cases, and we've seen the entire case, we saw how it played. We saw them drop it. We saw how malicious and vexatious this bullshit that they've been bringing is. And the Grangers, they are entitled to recover their money. If she wants to keep playing what they do, if they have to go for it, they're going to get more money. But right now, she is looking at this. Judge made it clear. I mean, you listen to him on this stuff. I have a distinct impression that it is not going to go Michelle's way. She is way over her head in this.
No, and if you
That
notice,
judge said that.
the judge also appears to be someone who cares about justice for the people in the courtroom. And he said basically, like, they are entitled to relief. They're entitled to relief from this. This has been going on a long time. And I don't think there's going to be any more jerking around. I really don't. I liked Judge Graves' demeanor. And I really got very happy hearing him speak to Lynette for the first time like a judge should speak to her, which is, don't play with me. Get yourself a lawyer. You're in over your head. Somebody's going to be writing a check. And I'm moving on because I'm not your lawyer. That's what she's needed to hear from the beginning. She has entirely too many people, judges especially, who put up with her bullshit and who do what they do is they placate her like a small child. Well, she's not a child. She's an adult. She got herself into this mess. She's made some really bad decisions. She let an attorney come in who wanted to get famous, and she deserves what she gets on this.
Well,
And she's going to get defaulted.
The judge also noted to her that pro se capacity, she functions just like any other lawyer. So he's not playing excuse this and excuse that. Right now, she functions like any other lawyer. So unless she has something to pull out of that magic hat, I mean, she is very much in trouble. She doesn't realize it. You look at her posts, she still has people whispering in her ear or barking in her ear, telling her everything's okay, and it's not. I mean, those cases she brought by themselves.
What posts? They're all gone.
Oh yeah, we still got them before she deleted.
She deleted her entire...
I'll take a polygraph. Yeah, she was like, I'll take a polygraph. Just point me to okay. She said, now I will quote her. Let me actually pull that. I'm gonna quote it correctly. I don't want to.
Well, yeah. While you're pulling that up, I want to read this next sentence because it says the judge did not say Michelle was going to be writing checks, nor did he tell Michelle she was screwed. He did tell her she should get a lawyer. Right? He didn't say she was screwed. I don't know where that comes from. That could just be Jeremy's interpretation of how he read it. The judge did say that someone was going to be writing checks. Now, who do you think that's going to be in a punitive case that's against her? There's no chance that these cases end with Jeremy writing a check. That's not going to happen. That's not even on the table. So she didn't bring a lawsuit against him for punitive damages. He brought one against her. So there's no chance that anybody is going to be writing a check except her. Now, the judge did say maybe writing a check. Someone may be writing a check. Of course, he's not going to give away what decision he's going to make because he needs to see all the evidence, right? But he did say someone would be writing a check. Due to the bankruptcy case being refiled, the judge continued today's cases until October 22nd, after the hearing for the bankruptcy case. Michelle didn't dramatically storm out. She was called over by a sheriff so she could be escorted out of the courthouse for her safety. That's what she says, but she was supposed to be in the meeting in the judge's chambers, and she didn't show up for it. And you can hear on the court footage him saying that you guys are to go meet in my chambers with the clerk or with the judicial assistant and set a meeting. And they even sent people to go look for her, I guess, but they couldn't find her. So she just left. Again, just doing whatever she wants to do, regardless of what she's being told she should do. She just does whatever she wants. It's continued until October 22nd. I like this part. I'm sure there will be a response and filings in between. Really? Are you? You're sure about that? How are you sure about that? Do you have... you know something that's going to happen? You know someone filing things for her? Strange. So this is her just saying, oh, well, there was no drama, nothing. I disagree with that. I saw the footage. I think there was plenty of drama, especially the part where she goes, "My lawyer died." That was pretty funny.
So when she did that, I mean, it elicited a laugh out of me. I was like, just the way she did it was the same pitch and everything of my mother.
Yeah. By the way, I watched it a couple times so I could see Jeremy's face because he said he started laughing. He did a really good job keeping that to himself. You can't see it because he keeps his head down. He keeps his head down. You might be able to see like a little shoulder shake, but that's it.
My favorite thing was the judge asking Larry if he was there.
If he was Lynette's lawyer.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
Larry's on Zoom, like in his studio, and he looks all professional. He clearly looks like a lawyer.
Yes, it looked really good.
It looked really good on the camera. I mean, he clearly looks like a lawyer. And the guy next to him, who was actually the lawyer, he was sitting in what looked like an interview room in a police station with like bare walls, and he had terrible audio. So of course the judge didn't think that he was an attorney. Of course he asked Larry, are you the counsel for Miss Preston? Larry's like, no, sir, I'm represented by Randy Shockett. It was good stuff. It was good theater. So there was plenty of drama. Don't let her fool you. You will find this footage
Is there a new short, by the way?
Yeah, that's the one I already showed you.
No, I mean, is there another one?
Another one? I don't think so. Jeremy hasn't published that one yet. He said we could play it.
No, I mean, is there another one?
Another one? I don't know.
Let's see.
I do not know. All right, I'm going to start reading super chats while you look for that because we need to get over to Rumble so we can listen to Bruce lying to everyone. Max Lab, OMG, today great day, but
there's the one that went up 4 minutes ago.
Crazy LP. Was it the same one we just watched?
No, it's a different one.
You want to pull it up?
Yeah, give me a minute. Yeah, go ahead and read for a minute.
Great day today, but crazy LP evening. Yeah, true. Starcasm gifted 10 Megan Fox memberships. Welcome to the Fox Den, all of you who sent those. I'm too far away from the buttons. You're not getting the sound tonight. I'm sorry. I'm leaning back in my chair. I'm having a restful evening. Maybe not. Gifted 5 Megan Fox memberships. Welcome to the Fox Den, everybody. Tug will do the sound for you. Tug will do the sound for you.
Give me a minute.
You can't even do the animal sound without. You have to be ready for it.
No, I actually had an autoplay on something, and I didn't hear you the first time. That was the funny thing. And then I heard it again. I was like, "Oops."
Maybe not gifted 5 Megan Fox
Let's
memberships.
Do it again.
Maybe not.
There we go.
That was terrible timing.
That was very terrible, actually.
It was very bad. John
sorry, maybe not. Out of anybody, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Maybe not. Megan, well, I can disappoint you. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Maybe not.
John Alive, thanks for the 2. R.I.P. Charlie Kirk, prayers for his family. Yeah. 2 little kids. Wheelie Life, thanks for the 2. UVU is a block from me. It's a terrible day in Utah. Lazy L, thanks for the 10. My daughter in college did not like Charlie because she said he enjoyed embarrassing college kids. I can't express to her how wrong she is and how heartbroken I am. Yeah, I would say that she's got the wrong idea. I mean, if they feel embarrassed, it's only because they're not great at maybe debate yet. But I don't think that was his intention was to embarrass them. His intention was always to talk to them and reason with them.
That way, though. Again,
that's kind of on you.
Yeah. Well, what you do is you embarrass them back. You go in fully loaded with ideas, not anything else, and you make them look like a fool.
All right, here's another one. This is the same one, no?
This one went up like a few minutes ago. It's the same
one. I guarantee it's the same one.
No, man, it doesn't even have comments. It only got 60.
No, but he didn't publish it yet.
Footage from.
See, it's the same one. He hadn't published it yet. We had it first. So he already put.
Oh, I see. I saw it come
He's-
up. I was like, wait a minute. There's a new one.
That was the same one. John Keller, thanks to the 5. There was another school shooting in Colorado today. 2 students dead. I heard that there were 2 people wounded. I
That's sad, man.
didn't realize that anyone had died, and that's really, really
didn't
sad.
realize.
And
God,
I can't
it's just-
I can't handle it. I can't.
Mm.
Polar Dark, thanks for the 5. I was across the street from the hospital when Charlie was brought in. Ugh. Lazy L, thanks for the 10. The media is so disgusting. Basically saying he deserved it because he's controversial. I heard those clips. I heard MSNBC and their disgusting vitriol. See, this is the problem. The media is disgusting. No one should be saying that anyone deserves this because no one does. No one deserves this. This man has 2 little babies who love him, who run to him with open arms, who will never get to hug their daddy's neck again because of this bullshit. I don't want to hear the media discussing how much he had it coming because he had some ideas they didn't like. I don't want to hear that. Kierna, thanks for the 10. For people saying the Trump shooter was a Republican, it was because Pennsylvania is an open ballot state. He registered Republican to disrupt the GOP elections, and it was encouraged by the Democrat Party to do it, which, by the way, is perfectly legal. People do it all the time. We used to do that in Chicago as well. And that is absolutely an explanation as to why he would be registered as a Republican. Cynic in Chief, thanks to the 5. In civil strife, it's not just those you hate that get deleted, but those you love too. Don't be the one to start down that road, but be prepared. That's good advice. Mavia, thanks for the 5. Who cares about sides? It's so stupid. Some moron ended another person's life, regardless of his moronic red and blue mentality. Yes, that's true. But also, I don't believe it would have happened had the divisive nature of the political landscape has become. If we had people in the media, do you remember the old show Hannity and Combs? Do you remember that show?
Oh yeah.
When Sean Hannity when he first was on television, it was a show with a Republican and a Democrat. Sean Hannity and Sean was his name Sean? No, what was Combs' name? Jim Bob, I don't remember.
Jim Bob, yeah, I like that.
Jim Bob Combs.
Yeah. Perfect. That's
Anyway,
a great name.
I used to love that show. I did. I really liked it. And I can't even imagine a show like that being popular today. I can't even imagine it. And this wasn't even that long ago. It was the 90s. And the entire show would be the 2 of them tackling the headlines from the different perspectives of each party. And then they would be friends, but they were friends. Remember, for instance, the era of opposite parties being not only friends but marrying each other. That's over. Mary Maitland and James Carville were married to each other forever. James Carville and Mary Maitland were both hitmen for each party. They were political hitmen. That's what they did. They would do opposition research on the other party. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what their briefcase, how they would hide their briefcases when they came home so the other one didn't dig through it and find out what dirt they had? I mean, these 2 were married to one another, and it was completely normal in America that you could have the main opposition researcher for the Republicans married to the opposition researcher for the Democrats. That was normal. And nobody was shooting each other over it. It's just upsetting. Cynic in Chief, thanks for the 5. I was watching your live stream with Dave Neal, discovering the Fiverr editing. You need Dave's, oh no, and unbelievable clips on your soundboard. I do. You're right. I need to get that. I should also add his voice to the super tips. And Court and Witt, thanks for the 25. Thank you for talking about Charlie Kirk and the insanity of this country's citizens' mental health. Yeah, we need to bring back insane asylums like stat. Slinky, thanks for the 10. I saw a glimmer of hope in the strangest place on the way home from work. Graffiti on a freeway column. It said, God is with us. I have learned that these things aren't coincidences. You got to take it where you can find it. Lazy L, thanks for the 10. I think freedom of speech is dead. We all have targets on our backs. I live in Charlotte and was shook by the train thing. Now this, disgusted. I really feel like this simulation is working overtime at traumatizing all of us this last couple days, because there's been nothing but horror in my social media feeds, and I've really had enough. Maybe it's time to turn it off for a while and just hug one another, because it's disturbing. McDeb81, thanks for the 50. This actually relates to the topic we're discussing, because it's about free speech and the right to have it, and the difference between free speech and hate speech and violence. We read that one earlier. It's true. Emma Washington, thanks for the 5. Is it true, he said, that gun deaths are unfortunate but worth it for the Second Amendment? I see people using that as a reason to celebrate this. Charlie Kirk was a staunch defender of the Second Amendment. In the context is important in what he was talking about, and so you can go back and you can listen to that. But I firmly believe that could Charlie talk to us right now from beyond the grave, he would still maintain that position, because his position was, and anyone's position who is a Second Amendment supporter, is that the deaths that will occur when the citizenry is not armed will be infinitely more massive than the deaths that occur with them armed. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the Second Amendment was not meant for hunting. It was not put into place even for self-defense from burglars. The Second Amendment is in place to protect the citizenry from a violent government, from a violent and wicked government. So all you need to do to know what the death toll could be in that situation with an unarmed populace is to study history, Pol Pot, any of the great massive extinctions of people by a government. So I absolutely 100% know that Charlie Kirk would maintain his position on this, even being a victim of this heinous crime. I know he would. That's not even a question. And it's not an excuse, of course. His support of the Second Amendment is not an excuse to celebrate his death at the hands of a gunman. Pickled Tink, member for 11 months. God forbid anything happens to Jeremy Hales. That 56,000 that is missing would automatically reappear and would be funding a huge why? There must be a typo here that I don't understand. But God forbid is right. Pray it doesn't happen. Puzzler, thanks to the 5. Sometimes my dog does silencers. Silent? They're brutal. Oh, you mean the dog? The dog let a silent but deadly one rip? Yes, those are terrible. Rick Reed, thanks for the 2. Peace and love was 60s, 70s. Yep. Puzzler, thanks to the 5. Do not never do the opposite of changing the subject. Don't not never. Slug Entertainment, thanks to the 2. I hate Charlie Kirk, but he doesn't deserve this. Right. Absolutely. You don't have to be somebody who likes a person or who agrees with him. You can hate his ideas. You can hate everything he stands for, but we just don't do this in this country. That's not who we are. We're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to challenge them to a debate, make content talking about why you don't like his ideas. All those things are completely reasonable and okay. Ozzy Alley, thanks to the 5, is happening in Australia, and the mainstream media blatantly lies to us in order to shut us up. Yeah, the mainstream media does it to us here too. We're in the same boat. Mama Mopar Mama, thanks for the 5. Free speech. If you don't want it, leave here. We're free to say whatever, even if you don't like it. Yep, that's right. But, do you really feel free after today to say what you think? Do you feel more free today or less free? Because political violence is meant for one reason, one thing. It's meant for one purpose, and that's to silence and instill fear in the populace, and it's working. Because I know I don't feel safe. It has that effect on me that I don't feel safe. Miss Erica S., member for 15 months. Love you, Megan and Tug. Keep speaking up and speaking truth. We intend on it. Robert, thanks for the 10. Thank you for covering this. I was upset this morning and went out and came back to hear about Kirk, and then your show came on, and I needed to hear you talk about it. Well, I needed to talk about it too, so thanks for being here to listen. Emmy, thanks for the 100. Wow, that's so kind of you, Emmy. Regardless of sex, race, religion, age, marital status, or political affiliation, removing someone's voice forever just because you don't like or care to understand their words is plain ignorant. Praying for the Kirk family and everyone in this tragedy affects. Yeah, if you want to hear a really great monologue on this too, you should tune into, quite frankly's broadcast from this evening. You know, Frank is a friend of mine and he has a great show, and he had a terrific monologue about this tonight. It was very thoughtful and very heartwarming, and I love listening to him. So I would encourage you guys to go check out, quite frankly's show tonight. It started at, I think he starts around 7:00, but you can catch the replay on YouTube. John Alive, thanks for the 5. You do not have to protect the speech that everyone likes. It's the speech that nobody likes that needs to be protected. That's it right there. That's it right there. When you have people telling you that this guy has to be silenced, that's the guy you need to get behind and say, I don't care what he says, but I'm here to say he has a right to say it. Period. Slug Entertainment, thanks to the 5. Megan Fox is quite elderly and angry at the chat. She hates you all. Joan Sclafani, you know that's not true, Slug. Now get in the corner. Joan Sclafani, thanks for the $20 super sticker, and I love your blue tape ghillie suit. That's hilarious. Razilla's Realm, thanks for the 2. I dedicated my song Rise Again to Charlie's memory. I can't believe he's gone. It's really shocking. Pirate Rogue, thanks for the 10, giving you some of my bounty. Free speech, baby. P.S. I love you, Megan, even if we don't agree. And I love you too, Pirate Rogue, especially because we don't agree and because you're an adult about it and you can hang out and we can still laugh at idiots together. And so I love you for that and I appreciate you. Slug Entertainment, thanks to the 2. I'm sorry I called you old, Megan. It'll happen again. I appreciate the reaching out, though, to someone that you have offended. That was the assignment. Simply Me, Connie, thanks to the Canadian 5. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Words to live by, words to live by. We need change. Or do we just need to go back to when every kid knew that poem and every kid was told, words cannot hurt you? You know, I feel like we need to go back to that wisdom we knew. At some point, we knew this. And then at some point, it went away. LaWanda Lavarnway, thanks to the 5. I feel Charlie Kirk died a martyr. Thank you, Megan, for your thoughts on this. God bless Charlie's family. Well, that's the unfortunate part, is that he did die a martyr. And the last thing you want to do is make martyrs out of people who were so effective. That's the problem. That's a real problem. You do not want to go around making martyrs out of your enemies who were effective. You know, that will motivate people. It will motivate them to keep you out of power. The people who hated him, you know, it will motivate the people who loved him to keep people out of power who hated him. So it's not a good way to win hearts and minds. I'll tell you that much. Lazy L, thanks to the 5. My own daughter didn't like Charlie, but agrees he didn't deserve this. Nope. Carol Madsen, 178, thanks to the 5. Thank you. I love you both. Well, we love you too. Therese Finn, writer chick, thanks to the 5. I had a long conversation with my sister-in-law right after this happened, just for this reason. I knew how much she likes Charlie Kirk. Well, Teresa, thank you for doing that. Thank you for reaching out to her and for showing her that you cared about how she feels, and you cared regardless of how you feel about, you know, Charlie or his views. I think that was really cool of you to do that, because people who love Charlie Kirk are hurting today. So if you know somebody who really loved Charlie Kirk and loved his ideas, maybe reach out to them. Make sure they're doing okay today. The Undertaker, thanks for the 2. Remember, today is anti-rage quitting day. That's right. You're not allowed to do it today. Maybe tomorrow. Skiffer Trucking, thanks to the 5. My mother voted differently than I did. Instead of disowning her, I let her soon-to-be divorced butt move into my home. Aw, that's the way to do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. Puzzled Puzzler, thanks to the 5. I absolutely hate all people with strong opinions. Sarcasm. Puzzled Puzzler, by the way, I think you sent a donation over to my travel fund to San Francisco, and I really appreciate that. Thank you for that. That was awesome of you. Ketchup, thanks for the 2. My heart breaks that his wife and kids were there. I know. I can't even imagine. Jan Davis, thanks for the 5. Reminds me of the movie 10 Things I Hate About You. Oh, yeah. That movie was great. It was based on Shakespeare, It was based on Taming the Shrew. Kitty Pants, thanks for the 5. Sadly, the people on the left who would never hurt anyone will want to stop discussion about it. All Americans should denounce this behavior. Well, I hope that's not true, Kitty Pants. I actually think that's the way to move forward, especially is for people on the left to say and be very vocal right now and say this is not who we want to be, and denounce those people on your side who are saying things like he deserved this, or what do you expect when you say things people don't like, bad things are going to happen. That actually was said on MSNBC today by a talking head. Those people, Kitty, should be roundly driven out of your circle. They should be shamed, publicly shamed, and driven out of polite society. Dan Davis, thanks for the 2. Light up the chat. Justice for Jeremy. Yeety McYeterson, thanks for the 2. LP's Facebook post said none of what JH said was true. Well, you guys are going to see if it was true or not, because he's dropping the video on his members only tomorrow. Bill Jarzemba, thanks for the 2.
I love that
Megan,
too.
your pinned link says super tits. I know it does. I thought it was funny that you all were trying to get my attention to it. You think I didn't do that on purpose? William Allen, thanks for the 5. We need to get BM's AI voice on super tips. It would be endlessly entertaining. You mean Matzkin? Polar Dark, thanks for the 2. Go look up Executive Order 44. Things can get bad. I can't take any more bad news today. Yeety McYeterson, thanks for the 2. I'm paying my attention. Oh, I'm supposed to listen. Just J-Hip, thanks for the 5. I am assured things are not going to go well for LMNOP in the future. That's how it feels. Just J-Hip, thanks for the 5. Megan Tugg and I filed for bankruptcy, and it went much better than this. Carol Welch, thanks for the 2. The bankruptcy lawyer is secretly on Jeremy Hales' side. LOL. Max Lab, thanks for the 2. JH just posted a short in the members video. Yep. Naughty Pirate, thanks for the 2. Where in the world is Mrs. Presto? I don't know. Allie S, thanks for the 2. She walked out of the court and hey, Presto vanished. Lyndon Hernandez, thanks for the 2. Meg Tug, blessings. They're going to pay justice. Yeah, it's going to happen. John Stuber, thanks for the 10. I do my fighting at the ballot box, then afterwards live with the outcome until the next election. May God be with Charlie's family. This is something I try to tell people all the time. When you lose an election, it's not the end of the world. It's just 4 years. Calm down. Go get yourself your favorite drink. Kick your feet up. Hang and just deal with it for 4 years. Because you get to try again. It's not the end of the world. You get to try again in 4 years. April, believe me, boy, does my side know about losing. Okay? We imagine the 8 years of Obama that we really hated, but you put your big girl pants on and you just go work it, you try another day. April Kias, thanks for the 2. Jeremy posted his members only video. Cool. Yeah, it wasn't just 8 years, it was 12 because we had him and then Biden. Imagine what that would feel like. Imagine you people who hate Trump so much. Imagine how bad it would be for you if it was yet another 8 more years after this of somebody just like him. So, that's how elections go. You just got to try again. John Golden, thanks for the 5. Violence is the last refuge of the incompetent. Isaac Asimov, Foundation, 1951, spoken by Salvor Hardin. Yeah, it's not good. Pickled Tink, thanks for the 2. Damn it, a huge party with the 56K. Paula Broadworth, thanks for the 2. Second Amendment isn't to kill someone in cold blood. That's right. That's not what it's for. It's for defending oneself against a violent and wicked government. That's it. Chris Warwick, member for 1 month. It's only free speech if you stand up for your rights. That's true. And Court and Witt gifted 10 Megan Fox memberships, and maybe I can hit the button with my toe. Nope.
What would you say?
Nope. Can't do it.
You do here.
Yeah. That's as good as you're gonna get. Okay. Skip to
my
the end.
God.
Tim Davis, thanks for the 2. Flo from the sitcom Alice passed away today. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I loved that show. Wishful She-Devil member for 12 months. I'm now starting a search for Polite Society. Seems like it's gone missing. Anyone sees it, please let me know. Tell me about it. Me too. I feel I'm with you. Let's go somewhere where everybody knows your name. Wait a minute. That's a bar in Boston. Where everybody knows your name. All right. Super tips. Thanks, SF, for the 5.
God be with Charlie's family. Such a terrible, senseless loss today.
And
I think it's very degrading for women who have super tits to keep on talking about them. There are some of us girls who are a little flatter up there. You know, in fact, my stripper name was Pancakes.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you for the 5 and for that lovely mental image that I will never recover from. And Diane Gladstone, thanks for the 5.
I had to leave the courthouse in a hurry. I had the runs. I had to leave the courthouse in
Oh,
a
no,
hurry.
not
I
twice.
had the runs.
All right. And we have a couple of cash apps too. Let's see. I saw some of those come through on my. That's the nice thing about wearing my Apple Watch when we stream, is that when the cash apps come in, it will buzz my wrist. And so I can actually know when it's coming in, which is great. All right. So Marsha, thanks for the 25. I really appreciate that. And Debbie Baker says, love you, Megan. Well, I love you too, Debbie. Thanks for the 25. I really appreciate that very much. Oh, shit. I just dropped something off my desk. Hold, please. All right. We're going to Rumble. We're going to Rumble. It's time. It's time to get over to Rumble. We got through all the super chats. And I just have to go and run and get the link and make sure that I put it in the description. And nope, that's the wrong one. Tug, do something entertaining while I find this. Be entertaining, would you?
Oh my God. What, I need to in come the clowns?
Whatever it takes.
Man. Amazing. Anything for the show. Put your red nose on, Doug. Dance for me, son. Dance for me. Yeah. And you know what really makes it funny? I've turned off all your clips too, because you're not on the right channel. So yeah, you have to do that dance behind an avatar. It's like, wait a minute.
All right, let's see. I am going over to the okay, here we go. Rumble exclusive. Hey, you have that clip, right? Because I don't think I have it. Do you have it? The one we're gonna watch?
I can pull it up. Yeah.
Would you?
That's funny. Yeah, it would have been nice to ask before we.
I should have asked you before that. I should have asked you before we started. I figured you had it, but I should have said something. I'm sorry. I'm not.
That's so
I'm
funny.
Not prepared.
No, it just made me laugh. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait, what? I know this is supposed to be my show.
Am I supposed to have it?
No. All right. We're going over to Rumble
Yeah,
now. Everybody get ready because this is going to be hilarious.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get